everyone, this is Nikki Rowland, and today I have a new layout to share for Lottie Loves Paper. I'm using the Pinkfresh Studio Happy Heart collection, which is super beautiful and so pretty, and it's great fun to use. So I'm using 4 photos, silly photos of my daughter, and I'm using a stencil there by Bramble Fox and a pink Distress Oxide ink, and I've gone for a pink background. Now this background is not the Pinkfresh collection, it's just a sheet that I had in my stash, and it's kind of like a tone on tone pink, light pink background with light pink dots, yes, it's very pretty. It's a great background because it's quite subtle. But it's just different, something a bit different, you know, rather than just having white all the time. So I've created this big starburst effect using that lovely stencil. I had to borrow it actually. I was making this at a crop and I borrowed it from someone else. Thanks, Wendy. Because I just really, I don't know why, I just really wanted to make a starburst. So there it is. And then I'm using some offcuts from the Pinkfresh Studio paper there. I created a little kind of shelf to put things on, distressed the edges and created a horizontal line going across the layout, the starburst radiating out from the top of the photos. So these photos are, where were they from? They were, Red Nose Day. We had to dress silly for Red Nose Day. So my daughter doesn't really have any silly outfits, so she just went as silly as she could find in her existing wardrobe. So she has got on black football skins, a beautiful sequined party dress, like sequins literally all over it. Then she's got boots, and did she have long leg warmers on? I can't remember. Very 80s. She's got curly hair that she did herself. She plaited it the night before, and then she stuck it up in a big top knot right on top of her head with a silver sequined scrunchie, with it all kind of cascading over the top. So that was, in her eyes, that was dressing silly. So good for her. I sent Max in wearing a Christmas jumper because he's not got anything silly either, and Theo went dressed as a minion, so yeah, all good fun. Right, so I've just added some definition to my starburst with a ruler and a fine liner pen. And then I'm going to add a whole bunch of floral ephemera. So in case you hadn't noticed, I love floral ephemera. I think it's fabulous. It's great for layering. It goes underneath things. It can go on top of things. Flowers are good for lots of things. I don't even mind putting flowers on boy layouts as long as they're kind of boyish colours, or not, you know, not overly pretty pink. But these are so pretty. They're so easy to use. I always go if there's a pack of floral ephemera in a collection, I will always buy it. I just think it's fabulous. So I'm trying to work out how I'm going to arrange this layout. I'm thinking that because I've got a big cluster on the left, I should have something over on the right, a bit coming down towards the bottom, but actually in the end I moved that whole cluster at the bottom over towards the left as well, so I have a massive cluster on the left, and the rest of the layout is kind of the photos and some white space, even though it's pink. And I've got to come up with a title, and I'm going to go for cool, and then groovy, because I really wanted to you know, she probably have no idea what 80s is, but to me she looked very 80s, so that's why I wanted to put cool and groovy. It's probably more 70s actually, isn't it? But yeah, anyway, I think it works. Doesn't have to necessarily always be accurate. So the word cool was in the Phrase Ephemera pack, so I've pulled that out, and I can just use that as it is. I probably distress the edges ever so slightly, but the and groovy was not there, so I have used some alphabet stickers to add that to my title to extend it. So you can see here that I have now moved that cluster over towards the left, and it's looking pretty good with the big cluster at the top. I need to join the two, so there's a big gap at the moment between. I've added one of the wooden circles, and there's a big gap underneath it where you can still see the paper, and then all the florals are coming out from underneath. So I need to put something there to link those two areas together, but I will get to that. But I just realised my photos weren't stuck down, so I thought I'd better put those in place because I know where they're going. They're not going to move now, so they can definitely go there. So this is a series of silly photos of her on Red Nose Day, and she's putting silly faces. Yeah, they're quite funny. I've got some nice ones as well, but these funny ones spoke to me more. So I've done those first. I'll probably do the other nice ones another day. So there we go. It's all coming together now. It's looking pretty good. I'm happy with how it's looking. Oh, I then decided I wanted to make more of a feature of my horizontal line and go all the way across the layout. And of course, my big piece of paper hadn't gone all the way across. So I added some twine, crisscrossed. I had to lift up the bottom edges of my photos to tuck that underneath. But you can see where I've added that twine. It's just a silver baker's twine. And I've wrapped it around the back of the layout too. And then you can see that I've added lots of stars. They are bright hot pink Bramble Fox stars that I had in my stash. So I've just stuck those in place. I do love stars. Boys or girls love them. So I don't think I've got any left now. And now I'm just going to add the and Groovy. Now, I didn't have a plus sign on this alphabet sheet. So this is the beautiful gold puffy stickers from the Pinkfresh Studio Happy Heart collection. It's beautiful, really, really lovely. I love the script font as well. But I didn't have a plus sign. So I think it's actually an X, which is kind of elongated, and then I've turned it on its side. So you can see right now that I'm trying to do it with an S, but it didn't look quite right to have the ampersand, which just wasn't quite finished. So then I've used the plus sign, which is to say an X. So cool and groovy, that says now. I think it does look like a plus, which is good. I was worried that the ampersand the S wouldn't be seen as an ampersand sign. So yeah, I'm happy with how it's looking. You can see that I just added the pair of trainers to link the two together. She always has rather strange footwear, so that kind of worked for me. And then I've got the little tassels going across and some more ephemera over on the right hand side. And I'm just kind of now just fiddling around, seeing what works, what doesn't work, moving things around. Pushing things around a bit, just to see what works. And I'm going to do some distressing of label stickers. So I've got one that says there, less judgment, and then I'm going to add one that says awesome as well. And I've got that pink circle up on the top right at the moment. That's not going to stay there. That's going to move over to the floral cluster, but for some reason it's just floating there at the moment. It's not deliberately placed there as part of the design. It's just, I've kind of just dropped it there. We'll pick it up and move it in a minute, I promise. So I'm just going to get everything stuck in place. So all done now. I've just been added a few sequins. Everything's stuck down. Just done my journaling, and then I'm just going to finish off with a few splatters of white paint. I had the word enjoy Bramble Fox, but decided in the end that it didn't quite look right there, so I'm going to just stick with it as it is. Add a few splatters of white paint all over that big cluster, nowhere else, just over that big cluster, and call that a day. I just wanted a few more smaller splatters, so I've used a paintbrush as well. So I've got some big ones and some small ones. And that's it, all finished. So there you go, there's the completed layout. Thank you very much for joining me today. I hope you have been able to check out the Happy Heart collection by Pinkfresh Studio, available at Lottie Loves Paper. It is fabulous and fun to work with. So thank you so very much for joining me today. That was Nikki Rowland for Lottie Loves Paper using Pinkfresh Studio Happy Heart.